state your name for me and your occupation.
Angela Crowley, and I am an instructional specialist at a high school.
Okay. So I'm going to be interviewing you for my second language acquisition class. I have to interview a teacher who works in an elementary school, middle school, or a high school. And you've worked with English language learners, right?
Yes. When I was a teacher, I taught English 1 and Algebra 1.
Okay. And you have some experience in elementary too, right?
Yeah, I taught kindergarten and first grade also.
Okay. So let's begin. In what area of English have you noticed your English language learners have the most difficulty?
They have the most difficulty, I would say, I would maybe pick 2 areas. The population that I work with is predominantly Hispanic, so they are learning Spanish. And I would say one area is vocabulary, just because it's a bunch of new words, and also grammar and sentence structure, because it's a little bit different than what Spanish is. Mm-hmm. But then on the other hand, you have for vocabulary, you have cognates, which are really helpful for Spanish speakers, because there are certain words that sound the same and they have similar meanings.
Yeah, I know, and I agree. Right now I'm in a dual language classroom, and I can see how grammar for English language learners, because my classroom is a Spanish and English classroom, they can kind of get confused on how spelling works and how, what letters go in each, how a word is spelled out based on the letter sound, because, in Spanish, they don't have different sounds. It's mostly just like E, and that's, E, which is an I. And I in English has the I and the I sound, and
mm-hmm. Yeah, so spelling would be challenging too. I can see that.
How does speaking a second language impact your EL's cognition?
I think that it helps build their cognition in a positive way, because they're making multiple connections. And speaking multiple languages is definitely a good skill to have. But being able to make connections from their native language to a new language. And so I think that gives them another opportunity for learning and growth.
Yeah, I agree. How similar or different are bilingual and monolingual students? Do you see a difference?
How similar or different?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're all students.
Yeah.
and all students need a certain level of support, but as for differences, obviously ELLs would need more language support, especially if they're just learning English. But then we also have some native English speakers who sometimes need language support as well. Maybe they didn't learn proper grammar, or they also have difficulties, or maybe they have some learning disability or something where they need special support.
Mm-hmm. What type of motivation is the most noticeable among your ELLs?
What type of motivation?
Mm-hmm.
Like what motivates them?
I guess, yeah.
So motivation in terms of successes, like little successes, celebrating everything. And when I was in elementary school, we would do little cheers, which are really fun. And, give out points. I had a word wall when I was teaching kindergarten, and they were learning sight words. And when the whole class learned a particular word, then I would put that word on an animal, and then I would put that animal up in our sight word zoo, and they loved that. So by the end of the year, we had like a wall full of animals with sight words on them, and it was our sight word zoo.
Awesome. That sounds like a good idea that I'm probably going to use for my classroom if I ever teach pre-kinder, kinder, or first grade, which I probably will. I want to say thank you for letting me interview you.
Yeah.
You were very informative.
Thank you.